Before you scroll away, the narrator's voice begins softly. Imagine being the most powerful person in the room, until the world turns its back on you for something you can't control. If you've ever felt abandoned, unseen, or broken, this story will touch your heart. Stay till the end, it just might change how you see people forever. And if it does, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, because more true-hearted stories like this one are waiting for you. Isabella Hart was the kind of woman whose name alone made boardrooms go silent. The youngest CEO of a Fortune 500 company, she had built her empire from scratch. People called her Iron Bella, sharp, decisive, untouchable. But behind that steel mask was a woman who carried her own quiet pain. For years, Isabella had been hiding a secret. Her body was failing her. A rare, incurable autoimmune disease was slowly weakening her muscles. It began subtly, a dropped pen, a stumble on the stairs. Then one day, during a live investor conference, her hand shook uncontrollably as she tried to hold the microphone. The video went viral. Within days, whispers spread through the company halls. She's sick. She's unfit to lead. Maybe it's time for someone else to take over. Her board, the very people she had trusted, turned cold. Investors pulled out. And the man she thought she would marry, her fiancé Ethan, told her, "I can't build a future with someone who doesn't have one." Isabella sat in her office that night, the city lights blurring through tears she refused to let fall. She had given everything, and in return, she was left alone. The only person who didn't treat her differently was Daniel, the night janitor. He was quiet, middle-aged, and always humming old country songs while he mopped the marble floors. Most people barely noticed him. But Daniel noticed her. That night, when he found her sitting in the dark, he didn't say, "Are you okay?" He simply placed a cup of tea beside her and said, "You know, these lights don't shine less just because it's night. They just wait for someone to notice them again." Something about those words broke the wall she had built around her heart. Over the next few weeks, Isabella and Daniel began talking, really talking. While everyone else treated her illness like a curse, Daniel treated it like, just a part of life. He never looked at her with pity, only with quiet respect. When she lost the strength to drive, Daniel started walking her to her car. When the board called an emergency meeting to discuss her succession, Daniel was the one who left a small note on her desk that said, "Even queens get knocked down, but real ones rise without a crown." But her disease worsened. She collapsed one morning in the office lobby. People backed away, afraid, awkward, unsure what to do. But not Daniel. He ran to her, lifted her trembling body into his arms, and shouted for help. Later, in the hospital, Isabella learned that Daniel had stayed all night in the waiting room, even though his shift ended hours earlier. When she woke up, Daniel was still there, asleep in the chair, his hand holding hers. That day, Isabella made a decision. She didn't want pity. She wanted purpose. After weeks of recovery, she returned to the company, not as the invincible CEO, but as a woman with fire in her soul. She called an all-staff meeting and stood on stage, her hands still shaking, her voice raw with emotion. "Yes," she said, "I'm sick. Yes, I've changed. But what hasn't changed is my heart, and this company's mission. We're not just here to make profits. We're here to make people matter." Silence filled the room. Then someone started clapping. It was Daniel, standing at the back, mop still in hand. And one by one, others joined him. That moment went viral again, but this time, not as a scandal. As a story of courage, compassion, and leadership. News outlets called it, the rise of the human CEO. Investors came back. The board apologized publicly. And Isabella promoted Daniel, not out of sympathy, but because he had become her most trusted advisor. When reporters asked her later what changed her most, she said, "It wasn't medicine. It was kindness. One man's belief in me healed what the world broke." Months later, Isabella launched a foundation to fund research for incurable diseases, and she made Daniel the co-founder. She often said, "The world left me when I got sick, but one janitor reminded me that humanity is still alive." And in the closing shot of the video, we see Isabella, in a wheelchair now, smiling as Daniel plants a tree outside the foundation building. A small plaque beneath it reads, "To those who lift others when no one else dares." If this story touched your heart, If it reminded you that one act of kindness can change a life, hit the like button and subscribe. Because sometimes, the people the world overlooks are the ones who shine the brightest when everything else fades.